One thing that I have learned from being on YouTube for over 3 years now and being a business owner for over 3 years is that psychology plays a huge role in both. Now, whenever you look at the top YouTubers in any niche, in any field, they're all very, very good at the psychology, whether that be the marketing, the sales, the persuasion techniques. No matter what it is, it all comes down to psychology, and psychology is essentially the way that you think and the way you make other people think. And two guys can have the exact same product, the exact same business, except one guy can be really good at psychology and the other one can be not so good at psychology and he doesn't understand psychology. And the guy with the better skill of being more psychological and knowing how to use and leverage psychology will get the better results. And that's why in this video I'm going to go through 3 practical examples that I see big YouTubers use every single week on YouTube to make money from YouTube based on the psychological skills that they have in order to be more persuasive or be a better salesperson, or just convince the viewer that their product and their business is the best. So the first thing is, if you've ever looked at fitness influencers, we'll go down the fitness influencer route. I'll talk about some other examples as well, but let's stick to fitness influencers for now. Every guy knows that when you go to the gym and you get a pump, you get the blood into your muscles and you look fuller, having a pump makes you look about 3 times the size that you would just normal day to day. It looks like you've put about 6 to 12 months of progress on just in an hour session, just because of having this pump and having the blood flow to the muscles and the expansion of the muscles. It makes you look even more jacked than you were before, or if you're not very jacked, it makes you look jacked. I know this example. My brother has recently started going to the gym with me, and just him going to the gym makes him look twice the size already just by having a pump. So every guy knows that having a pump makes you look huge compared to your normal day-to-day body size and your body weight. And that's why that, say for example, you were making fitness videos and you were teaching people, okay, this is how you build muscle, or this is how you look big in t-shirts, or this is how you build muscle while working a 9 to 5 job. Whatever your specific niche is within the fitness niche, you can just get a pump and make it look like you've made way more progress than you actually have. I've seen some guys, and I've coached some guys who make these fitness videos, and they'll sit there in like a baggy t-shirt with no pump. And I'm saying to them, yes, okay, that's fine, you want to do that, but switch your brain on for a second. Imagine you go, you get a pump, you make your shoulders, your chest, your traps look twice the size before the video starts. Maybe you wear a tighter t-shirt or you wear a tank top. How much more persuaded are the customers and the viewers going to be after seeing, okay, this guy is actually quite big, this guy is jacked, let me listen to what he has to say, compared to, okay, I'm wearing an oversized t-shirt, they can't really see my muscles, and I don't have a pump, so I'm not that big, or I'm not as big as I could be. This is the first psychological trick that fitness influencers will play. They'll purposely get a pump. They'll purposely go to the gym before recording a video and have, all this down lighting and the perfect lighting that makes them look twice as big as they actually are, just to be more persuasive on camera. And it works. And whether you want to do it or not, you don't really have a choice. It's the same idea, whereas, say for example, an athlete takes steroids. If one athlete takes steroids, then every other athlete has to take steroids, otherwise they're not going to be able to compete, they're not even going to get close. And it's the same with content and fitness influencing. If one guy is getting a pump and looking twice the size that he usually does, then everyone has to, or at least the guys that do that are going to be well ahead of the competition and ahead of the guys that don't do that. Like one of my clients who wore just a baggy t-shirt. He's not social proofing himself. He's not being an authority because people aren't seeing his actual results. And it's such an easy fix to just go and get a pump, go and lift some light weights and get some blood flowing into your muscles before you record a video. It'll make you look twice the size, and it'll be even more persuasive, and it'll give you even more authority when it comes to trying to convince people to buy your stuff and join your community, or buy your product. Now, before I get into the other 2 things that are on my list, speaking about communities and products, I run a community where I will teach you how to become an educational content creator and monetize it using a community business model. If you want that, you can check it in the top link of the description. Now, the second point I want to make here, which is a big point, is revenue versus profit. And if you've never studied business before, or you don't have a business, say that you were just the average person watching a YouTube video, the average people don't know the difference between revenue and profit. But as a business owner and a business person, you should know the difference between these two. So revenue is the actual amount of money you make, and then profit is the amount of money you make when you take all the expenses away from the revenue. So say, for example, you sold a product and you sold, I don't know, 5,000 units of them for £2 each. I'll give an easy mathematical example. So you're making, £10,000 from that one product. However, if the product cost you £1 to buy in the first place, and then you sell 5,000 units, you're not making £10,000 profit. You're making £5,000 profit because you have to take away the £1 that you've multiplied by 5,000 units as a cost. You have to take that away as a cost. It's cost you money, and that's not the only cost that goes into business. But I wanted to give you a simple example of revenue versus profit. And a lot of these guys are using their revenue figures to make it look like they make more money than they actually do. Anyone can make $10,000 a month. You've seen all the videos, how to make $10,000 a month, best $10,000 a month business, do this and, have $10,000 a month, blah, blah. Anyone can make $10,000. If I buy something for £9,999, I guarantee I can sell it for $10,000. And then I'll just be like in YouTube, oh, I made $10,000 this month. Yes, but you paid $9,999 for the actual product itself. So in terms of profit, you've only made £1. But you can jazz it up and make it look like you've made way more money than you actually have by just telling them the revenue that you've made rather than the profit that you've actually made. And business owners and guys on YouTube do this all the time. They make $10,000, $20,000, $100 million revenue, but 90% of that is going to expenses. It's going to, their team members or the software or the actual product itself that they have to buy for wholesale. Guys aren't making as much profit as they are revenue. It's just as simple as that, really. And people will use the revenue figure to make it look like they've made way more money than they actually have taken home. So I hope that example runs true to you, and I hope you understand that example, because it's something that a lot of guys are doing, and it could easily catch you out. You see a guy claiming to make $20,000 a month. You've got to think to yourself. You've got to start using your own psychology to say, okay, but how much of that is profit? How much of that are you actually taking home? Minus tax, minus the expenses. How much are you actually, taking back? How much have you got in your bank account? Because, like I said, anyone can make $10,000 a month. If you spent $9,000 on product, I'm sure you too, without any sales experience, could sell it for $10,000. It's really not that hard. If you buy a pair of trainers for like £100, I'm sure you could sell it for £120. You know what I mean? It's revenue and profit. They're two completely different things, and guys won't specify whether they made revenue or profit. And it's easy to make revenue. It's hard to be profitable. And that's where the differences come in here. And like I said, I hope you understand this, because it will change the way you see videos and the way you think about videos. Just think to yourself, okay, is this actually profit? What are the margins on this guy's business? Okay, he says that he makes $10,000 a month, but he's got a team of 6 people who all need a salary. And he's also rented this place to film the video. And he's also bought all these products, and he's rented a Lamborghini to have in the background. You know what I'm saying here? This difference between revenue and profit, and you need to understand the difference, or you can just, do it yourself because everyone else is doing it, so why not do it yourself? If you're making $10,000 revenue, but you only made $500 profit, then just say that you made $10,000 that month, because everyone else is doing the exact same thing. No one's saying, I made this much profit a month. They're all just saying how much revenue they've made and how much money they've actually, generated. but they're not taking the expenses out of that to inflate the amount to make them look better than they actually are. And guys do other things as well, like they convert pounds to dollars. People know, or you should know at least, that the conversion rate between a pound and a dollar and a euro is different. So I could be making 8,000 British pounds per month. That's like, I don't know, $12,000 per month. And I could just tell you that I'm making $12,000 per month. In reality, I'm making 8,000 Great British pounds. And I'm making probably 10,000 euros a month. See what I mean? You can use different numbers and people won't know the difference. Your customers and the people viewing your videos won't know the difference, but hopefully after this video you'll understand the difference and see what these guys are doing and where they're inflating their own numbers to make them look better and make them look like their product is actually better than it is. So we've covered pump and no pump for fitness, we've covered revenue versus profit, and the third one I want to talk about is guys will rent places and film videos there to make them look better than they are. So for example, and I would probably do the same thing, right? If I was trying to, sell a course, say for example, and it was about making money using trading, what these guys will do is they'll fork out maybe, £500, £1,000, and they'll rent some huge villa in some third world country. They'll go to Asia or they'll go to South America and they'll get a huge villa, a huge place, or a mansion, and they'll film about 20, 30, 50 videos if they have to over, a few days or a week. And when you are watching their video, you don't know that they're renting that place. You don't know that their place isn't actually theirs. All you can see is these guys sat there in a massive mansion. And your subconscious mind goes, oh, this guy's in a huge house. And you don't think to yourself, maybe he's renting. Maybe this isn't actually his house. Maybe he's just got this house for a week. Maybe he's asked a company to borrow this house and he's paid the company to do it, or shouting the company out as an ad in the video. Your subconscious brain doesn't do this. Your subconscious brain just goes, guy sat, big house, he must be rich, he must know what he's talking about, I'm going to buy his things. And guys do this all the time, renting Airbnbs, renting villas and mansions, just to have it in the background and make it look like they live this luxury, lavish lifestyle and they've made all this money and now they're trying to sell you the way to make all this money. Guys do it all the time and you need to be switched on. You need to think to yourself, okay, nice house, nice villa. He's obviously got a bit of money to be able to afford to rent that, but how long is he renting it for? How many of them are actually staying there? Has he got 6 friends who are also staying there and they've all chipped in maybe $100, $200 for the week and he's just told his friends to go out for a couple of hours while he can record his videos? You've got to start thinking like this because guys do this all the time. And to the average viewer, to the average person, the average consumer, to the average customer, they don't know any different. Like I said, their brain just thinks, big house, he must be rich, he must know what he's talking about. But now, after this video, you'll start thinking a little bit different. You'll start thinking, okay, is he actually renting? Okay, does he actually have as much money as he says he has? Let me go online and check his actual business credentials. Let me see what he's actually done for the community. Let me read his reviews and look at his testimonials. Rather than just thinking, big house, I'm going to buy his thing, he must know what he's talking about, he's rich. You're going to start thinking a layer deeper and a layer deeper again. And the more you do this, the more common it'll become. You'll build up your critical thinking skills. And overall, you'll just, have a better psychology and start to understand what these guys are doing. Now, obviously, I've given 3 examples there. They're a bit random examples. They're the first ones that came to my head when I was kind of just scrolling YouTube for ideas for this video. But all this to say that don't be afraid to use these psychological tricks. Like I said about the profit and revenue, don't be afraid to say, I made $10,000 this month. Maybe you made $500 profit, but don't be afraid to tell people you made $10,000 that month. Don't be afraid to get a pump before you talk about your fitness journey. Don't be afraid to rent an Airbnb or rent a hotel to have a better backdrop and convince people that you're doing better than you actually are. Don't be afraid to buy some nice clothing specifically for that video. Don't be afraid to, get a girl over your house. If you talk about how to pick up more girls, get a girl over your house and have her sit in the background of the video. Guys do these things all the time. and you can use them to your advantage at your own choice, at your own will, and you might as well do it because everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is making money from it. Everyone else is profiting from it. So why not do the same thing? You know, it's like I said about the steroid example. If one sprinter is taking steroids, all the other guys look around and go, shit, we have to now take steroids in order to even have a chance to compete with this guy. Otherwise, he's just going to run away with it. The same thing happened with cycling when Lance Armstrong got, caught for doping and using steroids and stem cells or whatever he used and had his medals stripped. All the cyclists were on some sort of performance enhancer. He just unfortunately got caught. And he said this in interviews. He said that everyone does it, and if he didn't do it, he would never be able to compete. Everyone does it. He unfortunately just got caught. So you can use these to your advantage and use these psychological tricks to make your YouTube videos better, your courses better, sell more products, and just overall make more money from the business. Now, like I said at the start of the video, if you want to learn exactly how to become an educational content creator and then monetize that to make thousands of dollars every single month, like my clients have, then I will teach you exactly how to do that. I'll go through all the autistic details of, how to actually start a YouTube channel, what content you should be making, what niche you should be in, what type of videos you should be making, what your thumbnails and titles should look like. I'll also help you with your community, how to be a better salesperson, how to use psychological tricks like this in order to make your videos better and sell more products. And then I'll also help you with your community as well. So, building your community and making sure that this income every single month is residual, it's on repeat, and you don't have to worry about it. I'll show you exactly my productivity routine on how to only work a couple of hours per week and still get better results than 99% of people. All of these and a lot more autistic details that I can't talk about right now will be thrown into my community, and you can check it in the top link of the description. I'll walk you through, I'll hold your hand, you'll be talking directly to me, it won't be a team, it won't be, I won't offshoot you to someone else. It'll be me directly that you'll speak to, advice from me about building a community and making money from being an educational content creator online.